Good morning. It is the 23rd of October, and for me it is the beginning of the Wide Write-a-thon. In terms of my time, the opening ceremony was like 11 o'clock last night, and I was planning on getting up a lot earlier and starting. It's currently 20 past 8, but I slept terribly last night, so we may end up with a nap some point today. So far this morning, I have made myself some food and done my makeup. That is the total of what we have done so far. Currently, Violet is on the stream. I've got it up on my computer screen, and I'm going to take the rest of this sprint to kind of do a little bit of a plan of today, because there's a couple of things I need to get done, and then obviously a bunch of outlining to do. So I want to do some tidying. I want to clean up that because I am on a sprint tomorrow morning, and that is an absolute mess to have behind me. I'm kind of tempted to try and angle something on my desk to be able to put the bookshelves as my main part of the background, but it has to be quite a weird angle, so we're gonna have a play around maybe. Just a couple of basic stuff I want to try and get done today outside of the outlining. I want to spend some time in some of the chats as well, and I want to try and do some reading today if I can. So just in general, lots of productivity sprints I feel. And then tomorrow I am on a stream at 7:30 in the morning, which means I have to get up earlier than I did today. So that'll be interesting. I think for some it's like 2:30 when that goes on, so it's gonna be a very interesting stream. I'm very excited. Other than that though, we are working on the standalone book. Now I'm getting kind of annoyed at myself for calling it the standalone book and not giving it kind of a project name. I don't know why, but there's something about not having a name for it that's been bothering me. So originally was just Magic, because it was the first book I had that had a real sort of magicness to it. We're gonna go with Project Magic for now until I think of something better, because it's bothering me just calling it the standalone. I have about another 6.5 minutes on the timer. I'm gonna go and make myself some coffee. I went down to the shop yesterday and bought myself 2 big things of like iced coffee, because even though there was ice on the car like a week ago and it's cold in the UK, I can't seem to kick the iced coffee habit, so we're gonna do that. We have actual caffeinated coffee today, which may or may not be a good idea, and then we're gonna make ourselves a list of the things to do, and then hopefully try and actually start catching some of the sprints to do the things. If you've watched my other Wide Write-a-thon vlogs, I think there's like 2 other ones now. Usually I start writing in the morning, get really into it, and then by like middle of the day I'm burnt out and I go and take a nap and maybe do an hour on the Sunday. So I am going to take it a lot more easy this time around, and rather than just trying to absolutely cram the sprints with stuff, I will take some sprints to do like some reading, like I said, or some walking around. I think it also helps that I'm not drafting this time. Hopefully outlining takes a lot less out of my brain and I can do it for longer. I feel like I've been chatting a lot and not getting very far. So I'm going to go and make myself some coffee, because that's priority number 1, and some water, because that's another thing that I never do when I do these. I never drink any water. I spend the whole day sat at my desk drinking nothing and then wonder why I feel crap midday. Gonna get some water, gonna get some coffee, and then we're gonna start making this list of plans. So I've done myself a little grid-like thing of the 4 different categories that I want to do today. Writing, house stuff, other productivity, and just other in general. Obviously got to tidy that and this whole room. Kind of want to tidy another room and get some clothes washing on. I don't know if you care, but here we are. For the writing, I want to try and get to the bad guys close in. If I can be really solidly happy with who I've got as the antagonist. If you haven't seen my last video, I'm having a bit of a panic about who the antagonists are. So I'm trying to work out whether to keep it consistent with my series, which is what this standalone is supposed to feed into, or make it the good side of the Space Pirate series because it makes more sense for the plot. So I'm going to have a last think about that, but I think I'm almost there making a decision. Unless I can think of anything massively glaring that is a reason why I shouldn't do this, I'm going to end up having the bad guys in this standalone be the good guys in the other series, but I want to try and make it as justifiable as possible, or make the people who are doing this as separate from the race as possible, and also maybe look at the timeline and make it so that it's like way before the Space Pirate series, so that hopefully if I do any other standalones before I do the series, or if I can make it work, I can justify the time gap between things happening. I also want to try and make some character sheets today. I did say I was going to do that last weekend and I did not. So I've given myself the goal of doing 5 character sheets over the weekend. I was going to plan this out for today, but I have planned the weekend instead. Just realised there's a Amazon box on the floor, so I'm going to slightly move it. completely out of shot, so I've slightly rearranged and you can absolutely see the mess. Not that you couldn't see it before, I'm not lying to myself and pretending this was not here. Other productivity things, I want to finish the audiobook I'm currently listening to, which I think has about like 20 minutes more on it, so I can get that through. And I want to read for another 60 minutes, either another audiobook, if I can have a look at what I've got on my phone currently downloaded, or I did charge my Kindle last night, so I may pick a new book. There's a couple of video editing things I want to do, and then the last other thing to do today is decide whether I want to rearrange these monitors to try and change my background or not, or if it's just going to be too much of a faff to bother. This might explain it a bit better. My desk has kind of space for 3 monitors, and until recently I had my work laptop here, but I've actually put it on like the little shelf above so that I can kind of have like a standing desk when I'm at work as well, and also so that when I close it down for the weekend I can no longer see the laptop, it no longer exists to me. So what I'm thinking is whether or not I want to move these monitors so that there's one there and a little bit of space either side, or keep it with this big space here. I'm not entirely sure. I have been enjoying putting my candles up there, but that's one to have a think about whether or not I want to. I had that a while back before I changed my job, so before I got the work laptop, or maybe just slightly after. I was doing it this way, so I might see if I can get that in frame, but if I get that in frame I have to tidy that, because that shelf is quite nice, and then the other shelves have just got crap put alongside all the books. So I am going to stop talking now because I am procrastinating doing what I should be doing. I'm going to get properly down into it. I think they're having a bit of chat, so I'm going to go into the chat and say good morning to everybody for the first time, and then see when the next actual sprint is and start getting some stuff done. It is 12:10. We've got a little bit of a break before we have Kate Kavanagh's live stream at 12:30. To have a look at my list of stuff that I have done or not done. With all of the sprinting so far, I've actually done about 60, I think, hang on, I can do an exact number, 68 minutes worth of sprinting. And in terms of where I am, before this point, I had the vague beats of Save the Cat, so I had like the setup for both POVs, I had a little bit of the debate, I had a little bit of fun and games. What I've actually done now in those sprints is worked out an actual chapter structure. So how many chapters do I have in the fun and games, how many are from either point of view, that kind of thing. And then I've got like a little Excel table that is switching between the POVs so that I can put in what's happening in each of those chapters. I'm pretty happy with where I get up to till the midpoint. I was having a bit of a struggle thinking I was trying to put too much in the fun and games, because my fun and games needs to kind of span like 4 years, and I only had like 4 chapters per POV. I think I made it 5 because it was just not quite enough, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be able to develop the characters in that time, but we're gonna deal with that later. But in terms of content, I'm fairly happy up until the midpoint. It's the bad guys close in that's now giving me the problem because it's not a big time span, but there's a lot of loose ends that I've set up that I kind of need to deal with, which will be fun. Having a little bit of a play around with some of that. I have tidied the backdrop behind me. You won't be able to see because I'm currently in the living room because my partner is currently at the computer, and it seems a bit unfair to do a load of updating in the study while someone else is trying to do things. Tidied the backdrop, tidied the rest of the study floor so that you cannot see the atrocious mess that my life currently is. I've finished my audiobook, so that's one down. I have exported 2 videos, one of which is for my Sims channel and one of which is for this channel, which should be going out Monday because this vlog will then be going out next Thursday. And I posted the Sims video, but the thumbnail was a lot easier, so I'm gonna have to actually spend some time later dealing with the thumbnail for the other video on Monday. Making some progress. I have also watched a video on StreamYard on how to be a guest in StreamYard, so hopefully I won't panic quite as much tomorrow. For some reason in my head I had it that I was doing it at 7:30 tomorrow for the sprint, but it's not, it's 7. I'm so glad I checked that. I will have to be getting up fairly early to wake up, get myself sort of set up and make up and know what I'm doing with StreamYard. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know what kind of energy I will have tomorrow, but we will work on it. I've got about 15 minutes before Kate Kavanaugh streams start up, and I kind of want to be on there for those. I could do a little bit of tidying, because the other thing I kind of want to do this weekend was a few other like personal things that I don't think I said. I want to dye my hair back to black because it's all starting to grow out. I kind of also want to cut my hair, which I've done twice now since like the start of quarantine happened, and I realised that I wasn't going to be able to go out and get my hair done. And while I can now technically go out and get my hair done, I own the hair scissors now. And I'm only going to ever go for a trim, really. I want to go for big drastic bangs, but we've tried that before and it doesn't go well for me, and then I have to grow them out and it's a faff. So I'm trying to resist the urge. If I'm just going to trim it, I think I might be able to do it myself. So that's on the list of possibilities. I also bought, a couple of weeks ago, this is a complete tangent, I also bought like a candle making kit, and I kind of want to do some of that. I do also have bananas that need to be used up, so I kind of want to make some banana bread. Today might go all over the place, but I'm really happy with the progress I am making in the outlines. So it isn't the end of the world if I go and make myself some banana bread some point today or tomorrow. I'm not quite sure how the candle making bug bit me, but at some point I've been burning a lot of candles now the weather's turned a bit more, and I had one that had basically really poorly burnt out and there's loads of it left in the jar, and that just bothers me. So I was googling what I could do with it, and I bought a wax burner and then made the excess wax into little wax melts because I've got little silicone mold. Something about playing with all the wax sparked me to go and buy actual candle making kits so that I can make actual candles and see how this goes. So we're making progress. Progress is happening, and I've been able to be in the chat a little bit and talk to people. I'm thinking this next chat is probably going to be a lot busier. I think we've had about like 30 people so far, but I think the next chat is like timed for people in the US waking up. And I know Kate's channel is quite big, so if people aren't necessarily aware of the Wide Write-a-thon, they might just turn up to this stream anyway. So gonna see if I can keep chatting to people. That is the progress update. What I really want is some food. I might do food with this. I'm assuming there was enough chat that I can have something to eat in between. It's 4 o'clock. I have outlined most of it now. So I've worked out about maybe having like 38 chapters, and I've worked out like 30 of them to an okay standard. I might have to have another run through it tomorrow, but I'm looking hopeful I could at least start it now. It's a really nice feeling to have that I could theoretically start Nano today and it wouldn't be the end of the world, which means I'm not as prepped as I'd like to be, but I'm not underprepared. I've made the banana bread that is currently cooling down a little bit, and I'm tempted to do some candle stuff. I apologise, my makeup looks terrible in this. I think I've been touching my face a lot while I've been writing. And then I might try and deal with this hair tonight as well. I think I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do the candles. Okay, I'm just gonna do a super quick check-in. It is 6 o'clock. I haven't done any more writing or outlining since we spoke last. I did make some candles. I will show you later when they've cooled down, maybe tomorrow. And we're just gonna have some dinner. And then what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut my hair and dye it, and then hopefully tomorrow it will look like what I want it to look like rather than this horrendous mess. But I think I'm going to leave the vlog here for today and pick up again tomorrow morning, because I kind of fancy either doing that or not doing that, and then maybe putting some of the sprints on but just reading through them and just getting like really cozy in the living room after dinner. But we'll see how that goes. So I will see you in the morning, hopefully looking slightly different. We shall see. Good morning. It is 9 o'clock on Sunday the 24th. I seem to never be able to work out what day of the month it is anymore. As promised, my hair is dyed and a lot shorter. So for context, it used to go to about here. So much of it was dead, so I've cut it all off and now it's starting to curl properly. I've just finished the live writing stream that I was on Sarah Sutton's channel. It was so good. I was so nervous. Little awkward bean. But I'm really glad that I did it. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully, now that I've done a first one, I'll be able to keep doing streams, and I might even try and do some on my own at some point. I'm not holding myself to that, but maybe. I slept terribly last night, which might have something to do with the amount of coffee I drank yesterday. But I was up until like midnight, and then I was kind of on and off sleeping till 3. I didn't get a decent like actual bit of sleep according to my Fitbit until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I woke up at like 6 to be able to be on the streams. So I am tired. So what I'm going to do is have a little bit of a rest, maybe a nap, which feels a bit counterproductive. I've only been awake 3 hours, but I'm going to go for a bit of a lie down at least and see what happens, and then jump back onto it. During the streams we did 3 25-minute sprints. I am about 8 chapters away from having everything with at least something in the outline. I completely re-brainstormed the finale because I realised it was getting very cookie cutter, very basic, very much this, I've done this before, and also very similar to one of my Space Pirates finales, and I thought, let's just try something else. I've had a bit of a think and done a couple of brainstorming pieces and switched it up slightly, so we're almost in a place to be done. I'm hoping that if I can rest up a little bit, then I can at least get on a couple more sprints and then should be able to finish it. I was also brainstorming people's names, which is always fun. And I'm kind of tempted to see if I can get like some Easter eggs in somewhere. So this book is intended now, the way I have written the plot, to be before my Space Pirate series. So theoretically, if it is the first thing I publish, it will also be chronological. But I feel like I will jump around quite a bit in this universe if I write multiple standalones, so I'm not massively worried about that. But because it's beforehand, as a part of me, it's really tempted to like put in at least one surname that would link in with something in the Space Pirates to kind of Easter egg it. So one of the groups of people are the emotion mages that I have in my Space Pirates world, and I've got one of the members of the crew who's an emotion mage, and I am severely tempted to give them or somebody the same surname so that it feels like there's lineages happening and like linking up of things. And I could maybe try and weave that into Space Pirates a little bit, because I'm going to be doing this standalone and Space Pirates 1 back and forth, so I think I'll be able to add in little bits like that. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I'm gonna have a think about that, but first I'm gonna put something else on the TV and lay down and see if I fall asleep. Do have a timer set, so I'm not going to be asleep forever, because I worry that if I have a long nap now, I'm never getting back to the writing. But I'm feeling in a good place with it. I feel like I can get it done. I've got to post a couple of videos up. I've got to post up Mondays, I think. I don't think I've done Mondays yet. I'm not panicking. But other than that, I did most of the things that I wanted to do yesterday. I didn't actually finish making character profiles, but I did put them into the campfire. So they're there, they're just not completed. Might do some more reading, because I quite enjoyed doing reading sprints every few, so that I could break it up a little bit. Try and finish the outline, do a bit of tidying, and all in all, get to the end of the day. I will catch in with you all a little bit later. It is 11:45. I am back where I normally am, in the corner of the living room, and I have finished the outline, which I'm very happy about. I actually was able to finish it on one of the streams, which is really nice. I was able to like actually put messages out there and get some like whoops back. It was great. It's great fun. The only thing I've got to do left with the outline is work out what I'm writing in and how I want to have that outline to hand. So if I was to do a Google Doc, I currently have my outline in a Google spreadsheet, so I could just have them both open. If I do choose to use the campfire manuscript, which I'm kind of tempted to try, even though I'll be trying something new during Nano, which is not always the best of options. There is a notes section in the campfire that I could add this outline to. I've had a little bit of a look through it this week, so I can have a look and see what I want to do. And it does look like if I have a folder with all of my chapters for this book, I could have multiple books in there. So I don't know if there's a limit. I tend to push the limit. I might do it in the manuscript settings. We shall see. But the book's been outlined. I haven't done any character profiles yet. That might be something I do a little bit later today, because it's still 12 o'clock. We've still got plenty of hours of write-a-thon left. I'll probably use some of it to do some video editing and stuff. I think I still need to get up my AuthorTube video for Monday, and I've got a couple of my timer videos for November starting to be prepared, so I might try and like finish them off and get them up there, so that at least during Nano I've only got to post one video a week. I've had a lot of coffee, so I'm talking extremely fast, I think. My heart is going a little bit much. I usually, if I'm going to have a caffeinated beverage, I usually have one in the morning, and the last 2 days I've kind of had 2, maybe 3. Probably close to a limit of what is probably a safe amount of caffeine consumption over the last 2 days, and I'm not used to it, so I'm going to make use of this energy, but I'm very sure that there will be a point where I crash off the end. So yeah, so the rest of today is just going to be getting a few other bits and pieces done. I want to try and record a Sims video if I can. If you don't know, I do a Sims channel as well. I'll link it in, I was about to try and work out which corner it's going to be in, I'll have no idea. I will link it in the cards and also in the description below if you're interested. So I do little speed builds, and sometimes I do like little build challenges or voiceover speed builds, so I'll link that down below. I'm going to try and get some of that done, I think. A little bit more tidying, but the majority of the things that I want to do this weekend I have done, and I feel really good about that. Usually when I do writing weekends or like write-a-thons, and I kind of feel like if I'm doing anything other than writing, I'm kind of not doing it correctly. But I think this time around, having some of the sprints be reading and having some of the sprints be me doing AuthorTube stuff or my other YouTube channel, and being able to have that kind of extra space has been really good. And also I've been chatting in the chats more than I usually do, which is still not a huge amount, but definitely more. So I think I'm going to try and keep with the sprint videos, because I think I'm really enjoying having the live sprints with people there. And it might be because I'm not drafting during this World Wide Write-a-thon, and I think I usually am drafting, which might just have a whole different vibe. It might just be outlining as a bit more chill. But I've got it outlined. So come first week of November, when I am off from my 9 to 5, I am probably going to do some form of writing challenge early in that first week and just try and bash out as much as possible. I'm tempted either by a 24-hour write-a-thon, which is terrifying, or doing a 24 and 36, which is the idea that within a 36-hour window, you write for 24. So it allows you 12 hours to, you know, sleep and eat and leave your computer. Because the idea of doing a 24-hour write-a-thon, where like, I assume that you still would take breaks, but I would feel like I wasn't being productive. Whereas a 24 and 36 still allows me to kind of have like a normal-ish routine, so I'm not having to recover so much maybe. But I might give it a go, and then I can hopefully get through quite a bit. I want to see how much I can get through. And I'm thinking if I could maybe get like 20k in the first week, I think that's doable for me, maybe. But yeah, so that's gonna be the next kind of big thing. Next week is actually looking pretty chill for writing. I'm gonna try and get the outline either into the manuscript thing or work out where I want to put it. Other than that, I'll be pretty ready for Nano. As ready as I ever am. I realised the other day, no, I realised yesterday, because someone was asking on one of the streams how long people have been doing Nano for, and I had a little bit of a think back, and it's been since 2011, which will make this the 11th Nano that I've attempted, so that's interesting. I still don't necessarily have great tips on how to win this thing, because mostly it's just sheer stubbornness when I win. There's one year that I did 25,000 words in the last 2 days out of sheer stubbornness because I refused to lose. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the vlog here because everything else I'm doing is going to be far less interesting to update you guys on, but I might just kind of potter around the house with the sprints on, do some more reading probably, do some more video editing and stuff. So if you do fancy watching any of my NaNoWriMo madness, I will maybe link in the description below some of last year's videos because there's quite a few of them, but also feel free to subscribe and you'll be able to see hopefully a very successful first week and then probably a scale off the end, because it usually does. Let me know down in the comments how your Preptober's going as well. And also let me know if you participated in the World Wide Write-a-thon. I've said it so slowly every time. Either as a host or a co-host or in the chats. I do think I'm going to go back and watch some of these streams. I actually think having these where I know there's a playlist of them will be really useful when it comes to things like write-a-thons I do myself, where I can kind of let them autoplay through and just pause them if I need to. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I've been Nikki Starr and I will see you in the next one.